American youth here, Reverend Taylor, but we can apply all youth through these particular challenges that we're talking about. Let's
Yes.
look at it from that perspective,
Okay.
and what has been done and what is being done in order to help them to overcome and to move away from violence, gang experiences, and some of those kinds of things
Yes.
that can be an example
Yes.
to them this morning.
And Dr. Haney, to give some suggestions, I would have to use my own personal experience and my father. My father took me, when I got my first ticket, he took me to the courthouse to meet the police, to introduce me to them. And when I got my first Social Security card, he showed the people there that he had served and that I was not going in the military. And I'm carrying the wound right now in my right leg from my father's military time, which is unhealed. But also in the CCC, as I said earlier, it was FDR's greatest project, and the book on it is This New America. At the Corn School here in Nashville, the director is the granddaughter of a CCC man. And at the Fort Nicolay, what is that?
Fort
Nicolay Park.
The military.
Yes. The director there is a CCC child. And this week I just met Robert Rich. I think his name is Robert Rich. He's over the library at Vanderbilt. He is the son of a CCC. And I have met about 4 or 5 men who are the direct sons, because see, there's a gap. You have the period of time when they went into war and they served in the military and then they come back. Dr. Cole at the North Carolina University, he has written the African American book on the CCC. And it is wonderful, Dr. Haney. It has all the things in there, barbershops, quartets, the different things that the men were doing in the CCC. It is a great project. And I see myself, the CCC, as becoming the most important organization in America today, because it's responding to all of those needs. And even, I have to mention, my brother, Roosevelt Taylor Jr., he didn't get a chance to be who my father intended him to be. My father's a senior. So today, my brother's grave, my life, my birth are the covering of my brother's grave. And it is filtering itself through my life. And all of these things that are taking place, and one of the things I remember from my pastor, Dr. Otis Harvey, he used to say, before the young folk got on drugs, mom and daddy was already taking pills. And I believe in medical records. And if you use medical records, you help the children to look inward at what the mother was going through when they were bringing the children into the world. And that is one of the things that I've often said to my mother. Mother, I said, the more you can tell me about what you went through bringing me into the world, I said, I can function better. You know, I'm not distracted. I can concentrate. Because a lot of the kids don't know why they are here. Good. You know, and if the kid don't know why they're here, and if the mother and father did not discuss beforehand.
Tell them.
Right, and discuss with each other that whether the child, this is the mother and father, whether the child was to come by accident or intent. And if they didn't discuss that with each other, they're not going to be able to tell the children how they got them here. And see, I had to get that information from my mother and father separately, but I respect that, and I never took side with either one. I just got what I needed in order to go on and to do what it is that I was to do to help make the world a better place. And that's what this is about. And Dr. Haney, to just inject this, what I was about to say, the word draw is very important.
D-R-A-W.
That's right. D-R-A-W-N. Draw.
Drone.
Yeah, draw. No, drone. And the reason I'm using the word drone, I'm being drawn toward becoming a write-in candidate toward the governorship of the state of Tennessee. Why? Because I'm running from the second civil rights movement. I understand the energy in it. And in the library in Atlanta, July the 2nd, July 29, 2002, that was a murder-suicide. And this haunts me. And the reason it haunts me is because I told the library about the atmosphere there 3 years before it happened. That's right. And when it happened, it haunts me today to tell what I know about whatever situation to help the situation, you know? And so these are the things that are going on. And here I went to my first mass incarceration class the other day. And before I went, I contacted Chief Anderson's office and I told him where I was going and why I was going. This was at a church on Vanderbilt campus because I understand emotions. In this city, they said MLK came here in order to not lead a movement, but to learn from one. So the people have that kind of mindset. So they're talking about mass incarceration. And there was this lady there in the class, and after the question and answer period was over, she said, she didn't raise her hand at first, but she just said, "My heart is broken. My heart is broken. My heart is broken. There's so many black males in jail." And then she stood up with a black power sign and said, "Leave my people alone, leave my people alone, leave my people alone." That was beside the point. That has already happened. These civil rights leaders have got to go back and look at those who told them that the way they went about getting these rights, it wasn't the best way to do it. So now we have our children here which have OD'd on the MLK dream, and a lot of our people are suffering from mental indigestion of the 60s. And some kind of way you got to find it to debrief that, you got to find a way to discuss that, what happened there, to protect them and turn their minds inward and not have them, you know, attacking the police and all these different things that are going on. Police are being shot and people are shooting the police. You know, it stems from the 60s. And this is why I'm being drawn in this direction, not to become governor, but because there's something I see that we need to learn how to address it before we reach the point where we're not able to address it. And see, this is the 50th anniversary of that movement coming. And I'll say the next 78 days are the most important days in Black American history on this side of the Atlantic. And when I ran for the presidency of the National Council of Negro Women in Atlanta, I did. And the purpose of it wasn't to become president, but to bring attention to the conflict that's going on between the American African American and the American African female. You have a contest going on there. Sometimes their words can be insulting. You're dealing with a lot of nuances. And because I'm the youngest girl under 4 girls, it has sensitized me. And I don't know if I said this ever on TV before, but I sued my mother in 1992 for duress when I learned the word. And I ran for the presidency of the National Council of Negro Women, and I actually changed my name for my family. And that name is Voyance Tene. And the reason I changed my name because they were verbally abusing me in the way that they were saying my name. You know, Gregory Taylor.
Even within your own family.
That's right.
Do you find that that happens often to young men within families that are, well, not moving anywhere, but not productive?
Well, that is there. And, you know, they can be, like I said in the beginning of the book about Fabre, how to talk so kids will listen and listen so kids will talk. And what Dr. Brazelton, the emeritus pediatrician from Harvard, said, what happens after birth is a direct correlation to what happened before birth. And the baby can, when the mother and father is arguing or fussing, in the book, The Secret Life of an Unborn Child, he talks about the baby will kick. You know, the
baby is aware of the kind of dissension between the two, the mother and the father, even though the baby is still in the womb. That's what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Kind of psychological thing that allows that to be created.
Yes.
And well, now, how do you deal with that as an issue?
Well, for me right now, my brother, Roosevelt Taylor Jr., was light, bright, dandy white. And my black doctors tell me, leave that alone. But the white doctors tell me to clear it up, death certificate. And he was. You know, and so what I'm simply saying there are a lot of deep secrets and things that are there that need to be dealt with. And I remember reading in the book by Dr. Bill Frist, and he had this illustration. He spoke at one of the MLK holidays, and he had this patient in Africa that he had to work on, and that he said that when the doctor he was dealing with a boil, and when the doctor and the patient put his hand on the knife to help to cut it, it helped the process to go through better. You know, but a lot of it is in the prenatal memory.
Okay.
You know.
And of course, what we're doing now, we're getting ready to end this show for today.
Okay.
And I just want to thank you for coming by and giving us that information. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.